Being able to come to your garden at any time of the year and to be able to pick fresh vegetables is so empowering. But of course, it does involve a little bit extra work on your part using succession sowings. In today's video, I shall show you just how successful we have been with our succession sowing. Succession sowing can take many different forms. I know a lot of you think of it as something that you sow in May and June, and then you'll have something to eat in autumn and winter, and that's correct. But also there are things like your spring onions and your lettuces. You can see here that we've been chomping our way through our winter lettuce. There are not too many of them left now. There were originally 12 of them. But also you can see behind me that the lettuce that we sowed into our 30-litre containers, they are now ready to take over the mantle. Mrs. W has also sown some more lettuce. Our little gems, our saxo, our lolla rossa, they will go outside into the plots and grow there to give us harvest during the summer months. Those of you that have our sowing calendar, you will already be a step ahead, because all of the sowing dates are there for you when you need to sow these things to ensure that you always have fresh vegetables to eat. We had our pak choy, a variety called yushu, and we've chomped our way through that now. There were about 2 or 3 left that were beginning to go to seed. And when you think that I planted those out last September, October, have lasted us a long, long time and given us fresh leaves. You can now see here that myself and Mrs. W have already sown the next succession of pak choy. Only this time they will go out into the plots. It will become too hot in this polytunnel for them to grow as the weeks and months go on. And then there are the brassicas. They definitely need to be succession sowed. You can see here that we've already sown our autumn vegetables. There are the cabbages here, best of all. There are the autumn giant cauliflowers. These will give us our brassicas during September and October and November. Coming up pretty soon, next month, that'll be the time when you begin to sow your brassicas for the winter period that will encapsulate December, January, February, and next March. These cabbages here, they are spring cabbages. Now, if I let them go on for a little bit longer, they will eventually make a small heart. But I like to eat them as spring green. And the value of this crop is that it's ready for us to eat now. There's not so much in the garden that you can actually eat fresh. So to have this is a real bonus. These were sown back in August, and they're now ready for us to enjoy. And from that, all you need to do is to chop it up, and you have your spring green. Mrs. W, for some reason, is not too keen on these.
No, I'm not. I don't know why. That's the one thing that... No, you can keep those, Barry. You can have that. That's fine.
But that's fine, because there's plenty outside when we go out there that she does really, really like.
Absolutely.
Do go back and check out our video from, I think it was March, where we give you the different dates to sow your potatoes on to ensure that you have a good succession of potatoes. These swift here, they were sown right at the end of January. They've lived in this polytunnel ever since. We've actually just finished harvesting our last Christmas potatoes. They're not actually Christmas potatoes. They're just ready around about that time. But when we grow them in these 30-litre containers, they can just stay in this polytunnel where they won't be affected by the weather, and we empty them every week as we need them. Swift are a great potato. Not only do they taste really good, but they give a harvest. Well, it's said they can give you a harvest within 8 weeks. For me, I leave them for the 12 weeks, and then you have decent-sized potatoes there. You might not think it, but strawberries can also be successional. You can see here that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 There's 2 of the other side. We have 10 of these containers, hanging baskets. And by growing your strawberries in these and keeping them under cover, these give you a much earlier harvest. There are already strawberries starting to form on these strawberries. So we're likely to have a harvest sometime towards the end of April and early May. And of course, the ones that we have in the outside bed, they will then take over. That could give you a harvest from May all the way through to July. A lovely 3-month period when you can enjoy these absolutely gorgeous berries. But if you are growing your strawberries under cover in hanging baskets like this, it's a good idea to now start to give them a feed. We use our own homemade comfrey feed. It has all the elements that these are going to need. But if you don't have your own comfrey plant yet, and I strongly advise that you get one and tuck it somewhere out of the way in the garden, because it'll stop you spending money on other feeds, then a normal tomato feed will do just as well. Another example of a succession sowing are these onions. So they've got away much quicker than the ones that we have outside. It's to be expected. These were planted up in here last October, and they will give a slightly earlier harvest. And it helps to bridge the gap between when you've exhausted your stored onions from last year until when your main crop that you have outside now become ready. So sometime in early June, these will all be ready. Spring onions. We made a video, I don't know, it was last year or the year before. I consider these to be one of the most important crops in the garden. They're so valuable to you. These were sown at the end of last August, along with the ones that we have outside the polytunnel in the raised bed. And we've been able to enjoy these spring onions since March. And as the weeks are now going on, they're really bulking up. If I harvest this clump here, because I know Mrs. W is going to want some onions. Just look at those. This is a variety called Guardsman, and they're fantastic. So if you don't have space to be able to grow many bulbing onions, this is an alternative. They're all multi-sown, so they don't take up a huge amount of space. In fact, you can just use a 30-litre container and you'll get 10 clumps in there. They will give you onion taste right here and now. And they can be used just the same as a regular bulbed onion, with one real advantage to them. All of this, all the greenery, tastes really oniony. You can use all of that when you are preparing your recipes. The spring onions, of course, from now on, you can keep continually sowing them every month so that you have a continual harvest between now and all the way through to September and October later this year. They're great succession plantings. Now, one of the great things about succession sowing are these plants. Purple sprouting broccoli. And we grow 3 varieties. We grow Rudolph, early purple, and this magnificent specimen, which is a variety called Claret. And I have to credit Ken Jones for this. He told us a few years back about this amazing variety. It is an F1, but actually it's worth it. The harvest you get off of this is absolutely phenomenal. With the 3 varieties that we have, we've been enjoying purple sprouting broccoli since January. And although they do stay in the garden for a long time, at this time of the year, they really come into their own. As long as you keep picking it nice and regularly. We've talked quite a bit over the last few videos about high-value crops, and this is one such crop. 300 grams of this is absolutely extortionate when you see just how much these plants produce. This one is now coming ready, so it's time to take the central head out. And once you do that, that then promotes all of these shoots you can see coming here. And you'll get many pickings from this plant over a period of 6 to 8 weeks. Anybody that thinks that they don't really want to grow this because it takes up space in the garden. Well, make sure you subscribe to this channel and we'll show you when you can sow this and get this in the ground. So actually, it's not in the ground for quite such a long time. You don't need to be sowing this until a bit later in the year and then transplanting it. And you still get all of these wonderful harvests. We've been enjoying the taste of leeks for some time now. In fact, since October last year. We grew 2 different varieties this year. We grew the Bulgarian Giant and also Diverno. They harvest at slightly different times of the year. Although they're sown at the same time, their harvest is successional because they harvest at different times. This Diverno I'm really, really pleased with. Look at the size of those leeks. And we've been harvesting these since beginning of March, when they've been around about this size. I said earlier that Mrs. W is not too keen on the old spring green, but she is cabbage.
Especially Savoy. They are my favourites.
Look at those. These have actually been ready since December. The great thing about the old Savoy is it will sit there happily until you need it and give you great harvests. Before we started on the harvest of these, there were more of these here. A few weeks back, during January and February, we were enjoying the wonderful variety called Tundra. They really were a great cabbage. Really enjoyed those. That's a variety called Wind Tessa. I hope that you're taking some inspiration from this. We're going around the garden. We already have some lovely fresh harvests. But what of the future? Well, the future just in front of this camera here will be these cauliflowers. Remember those amazing Oreo harvests we had last May? That's what they are. You can see in here how they're twisting up, so we know that they're starting to produce their flower, and they will really bulk up to really large cauliflowers. At the end of last October, we sowed our broad beans to overwinter. And this year we decided to trial them without actually covering them. Most years we cover them to keep the worst of the weather away. Bizarrely enough, the year that we decided not to cover them, we've had one of our more harsher winters. We tend to see too much in the way of snow around here. But we did back in January. Those broad beans, they're looking really, really good. You know when they're happy because they do a thing called tillering. You might plant the one seed and the stalk comes up, but then it sends out 2 or 3 others. This increases your harvest. So wherever you can overwinter your broad beans, it's a really good idea too, because these will be ready for us to eat during the month of May. May is one of the most difficult times to get fresh vegetables from your garden. Most of the things that you're planting out now, you won't see until June, July and August. But one tip for you here, and you can see Mrs. W has already been around and done this. She is a lovely lady. And she's put all of this blue strapping around the plants. This helps to keep them upright and not flop all over the ground. This is a variety called Aquadulce. And then beside me here, we have some brassicas that will give us harvests in July. Over the other side of the garden, they are the brassicas that will give us harvests in June. A lot of the things that we look at are annual vegetables, but there's actually a way of cheating the system and ensuring that you get successional harvests. You can see here our rhubarb. This comes back year after year without you really not having to do anything with it, other than during the autumn months while it's dormant, give it a bit of a feed with your homemade compost. And every year it rewards you with amazing harvests. This year, Mrs. W has chosen this particular rhubarb to force, and we've put a dark cover over it so that it comes much earlier. This rhubarb doesn't normally come for us this early. It's normally May and June time when it's at its best. But we're going to be able to enjoy those succulent shoots so much earlier. And then, of course, there is the wonderful asparagus. We actually sowed this back in 2022. Last year we had a small harvest from it because you have to give it time to build up its strength. But this year, in 2026, we can take a full harvest. Just look how amazing this asparagus is. And it will reward you year after year for the next 15 to 20 years. But of course, the most important thing, folks, I'm sure you all agree, Mr. W's future is secure for another year. Underneath these covers are over 100 Alderman tea plants.
Yay!
If you're wondering why they're covered, well, we have a pigeon problem around here and they love to peck the tops. So at this moment in time, they just have this fleece around them. It's not because it's too cold. It's not because we're concerned about frost. It is just to keep the pigeons off. So I hope that this video has inspired you and you've got a little window into just what succession sowing can do with you. Succession sowing is just getting your head around it because all you're really doing is ensuring that you have a plant that can replace a plant once it's given up its final harvest. The trick is, of course, is to ensure you sow at the right time so that those plants are ready to go into that plot. No dig really helps with this because there's no preparation. All we do is either cut the stalk down to the ground or we twist the plants out. And either with your foot or a rake, just ensure that the ground is relatively even again. Dib your holes, get your next plantings in. Remember, when we made a new no-dig bed a few weeks back, that took us just 3 hours to make. And we also planted up 400 onions. When it comes to later on in the season, it's just the same, only it's quicker. You've already spread your compost over your bed. We've been so inspired by No Dig about just how easy it is. That's why we talk about it on this channel and why we're known as the No Dig Norfolk Gardeners. Now do let us know how you're getting on with your successional plans. We did mention a couple of weeks back that it was time to start sowing your brassicas for your autumn harvests. Have you done that yet? Is it something you need to get on top of? Would you like us to make more videos over the next few weeks detailing a bit more about the methods and how you go about succession sowing and planting? Our channel is here to serve you. If it's something you want, we shall produce it. And very often, as I'm going through the comments, I'll say to Mrs. W, I think we need to make a video on this. One such video was the tomato video that went out last Sunday. That was inspired by all of the comments that we saw of the troubles that you are having with your tomatoes. If you're new to watching us today, and you maybe are having some problems with your tomatoes, or maybe you want to grow tomatoes for the first time, and why not watch that video next?